Hi, welcome back to 17 Square Meters Garden. I hope that you are all doing well. So today, finally, the video that I promised quite a while ago, which is how you can grow orange trees from seeds. I've been not posting videos very frequently recently because it's been quite a crazy start of the year for me. First I got very sick, and then right after this I had my horticulture exams, so my mind was completely focused, on passing those exams and learning and all that stuff. So I just didn't find time to record video for YouTube. But now that we are getting closer to spring, there will be more, garden projects, more seed sowing, more flower arrangements and all that good stuff. So hopefully I'll have more interesting things to share with you, and I'm hoping to go back to, one time per week video schedule. But for now, we are gonna talk about citrus. So I have my orange trees here, 3 orange trees. They are approximately 2.5 years old, and I started a new project of growing lemons from seeds as well, and that's what I'm gonna share with you. Growing your own plants from seeds is always super exciting because you know that it's you who planted the seed, and you get to experience and see the plant germinating and growing, and you see it bloom, you see it thrive in your garden, and it's always a great feeling. But of course, when it comes to fruit trees, it gets a little bit more complicated, and I am going to talk about all that concerns, flowering and fruiting and grafting. I think that more at the end of this video. First, I'm gonna just show you how to propagate them, how you can grow them from seeds, and then we are gonna dive into all the possibilities and how it's gonna go. So let's dive into propagating. There are several ways in which you can propagate them. The method that I'm gonna show you today is a paper towel method. So you will need a paper towel, you will need a bag, a plastic bag, those in which you freeze your food, those freezer bags, I don't know how you call them, plastic bag, Ziploc bag, that's how you call them. And a box. You will need a box because they will germinate in darkness, so you need to provide them with darkness. So I suggest you take a lot of seeds and you make germinating a lot of seeds, and then those that germinated the best, you choose those to grow on, and you just get rid of the weaker ones. So we are going to remove the outer skin of the seed to help them germinate, because this way they will germinate quicker, because otherwise when your seed is in this hard shell outside, sometimes it's difficult for the seed to pierce through that shell to be able to germinate. So just gently with a knife, you peel the outer skin. You see how easily it comes off? There you go. So that's the seed that has outer coat removed versus seed with the outer coat. We are gonna put them on a paper towel, and you are gonna spray them with a spray bottle. And now I'm gonna close them in this paper towel. Make sure that the entire paper towel is moist. Just do a little bit more. You can fold them again once more. Make sure it's nice and moist. You see, it's moist. It's not like dripping wet, but it's just moist enough to keep the humidity for the seeds to germinate. Then you are gonna take it and place it in a Ziploc bag so that it doesn't dry out. And the Ziploc bag you put in this little box. You close it. The box, you put it away in some dark place, in some cool place, for about 12 days, 14 maybe, depends. But check on them. You don't have to check on them every single day, it's absolutely unnecessary. Mine, I think they germinated after about 10 days, so check for the moisture, because you don't want them to dry out, obviously. You want the paper towel to be constantly moist. So now I'm gonna show you the clip of mine, of those that I just germinated here, and I'm gonna tell you what to do once they germinate. Put them in a seeds and cutting growing mix, some very light growing mix, so that it's easy for them to grow roots and to develop correctly. Water them, of course, after planting, and place a little humidity dome. Here I'm using a Ziploc bag yet again, but make sure to cut holes at the top so that the air can circulate properly. because otherwise you may start to have some fungal growth. Place them in a bright location. In the winter you can place them on south-facing window, in summer in east or west-facing window. I place mine under grow light, of course, because I garden in part shade, so I don't really have direct sunlight here. And keep the humidity dome for the first several months of their existence. Okay, so now that you have propagated yourself some citrus tree, you are probably wondering, well, should I expect fruit? Should I expect these little guys to produce me some oranges or lemons at some point? And I would say if you want to have your own oranges, your own lemons, then it's best for you to go to the garden center and to buy a plant that is already mature and it's already producing fruit. Because growing them from seeds, if you're lucky, it may happen at some point, but you may wait a lifetime and it may not happen. Because they are propagated through sexual reproduction, they are not gonna come true to type. So I may end up, even if one day they fruit, I may end up with something completely different. I may end up with some freaky fruit that doesn't even taste well. Okay, so now let's talk about grafting. Is grafting citrus trees necessary for them to produce fruit? There's a little misconception here, like about grafting. We don't graft plants to make sure that they are gonna fruit. What is grafting? If you have never heard about grafting, is you basically take a rootstock of one plant, so the roots and stem of one plant that is cut, and you take another plant. It can be a bud, it can be a part of a stem. There are different ways of grafting, but basically you take a material of another plant and you transplant it on top of that rootstock with that stem. So you basically create one plant out of two. In fact, what the rootstock does, it just dictates the size, the health and the resistance of the plant. It's not gonna change the flavor, it's not gonna change the fruit, because the rootstock is different variety and the top is different variety. So the rootstock at the bottom will just, let's say, influence the overall health, vigor and resistance of the plant. So grafting in this case will not change much, because you are still grafting a young plant, you are still grafting a juvenile plant. If you want to graft anything, graft mature material, because this way you are sure that it's gonna produce and you know what it's gonna produce. I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that it inspired you to try to grow some citrus trees, despite if they will produce fruit or not. As I said, I think that it's still a fun experiment, and to try to grow something different and experiment a little bit more with plants, with seeds and different methods of germination. I think for the sake of the experiment and of having a beautiful little tree, it's still worth it. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next week's video. Bye!